For anyone that's curious, here are some examples of OT goals that I write for children who are going into preschool, so kids that just turn 3 years old. Student will throw a large ball 4 to 5 feet away from his body 3 times consecutively during reciprocal ball play with verbal cues as needed on 4 or 5 trials. Student will use a tripod grasp consistently during a 2-minute pre-writing or coloring activity with adaptations as needed and minimal verbal cues on 4 of 5 trials. Student will snip paper 5 times consecutively using the correct thumb up grasp with his fingers in their respective holes with verbal cues and minimal physical assistance on 4 of 5 trials. Student will push together 3 large pop beads consecutively with minimal verbal cues on 4 of 5 trials. Student will lace 5 large 1-inch beads consecutively with verbal cues on 4 of 5 trials. Student will imitate age-appropriate pre-writing strokes after a visual demonstration with verbal cues as needed on 4 of 5 trials. Student will complete an 8-piece form board puzzle with minimal verbal cues on 4 of 5 trials. Student will utilize sensory supports as needed and as prescribed by his treating occupational therapist in order to increase engagement in educational activities in the learning environment. In order to prepare for independent feeding, student will poke food with a fork with verbal cues and minimal physical cues 5 times consecutively throughout the duration of 1 meal on 4 of 5 trials. So for parents, these are all things that you can work on with your kids at home if you have a 3-year-old, and for OTs out there, steal my goals.